You go to bed feeling perfectly fine, no pain, no dizziness, nothing out of the ordinary. But when morning comes, one side of your body refuses to move. Your speech is slurred. The words form in your mind but never reach your lips. It sounds like a nightmare, but for thousands of people every year, it's real. This is called a wake-up stroke. It strikes silently while you sleep, leaving no one to notice when it began. And because the clock is uncertain, life-saving treatment is often out of reach. Mark is 48. He runs his own small business, keeps promising himself he'll get fitter soon, and every night collapses into bed, exhausted. One evening, he eats late, watches television until well past midnight, and finally drifts off. His wife finds him the next morning. His right arm hangs limp. His mouth won't form words. Within minutes, he's in an ambulance, sirens echoing through the early dawn. By the time he reaches hospital, the doctors can't tell when his stroke began, only that it has already taken its toll. And here's the hardest truth. Mark's stroke was not inevitable. It could have been prevented by changing just a few ordinary habits in the hours before he slept. Welcome to the channel. I'm a stroke physician in the UK, and today I will share 7 nighttime habits that quietly increase your risk of stroke and the exact steps you can take to reverse them. Habit number 7 doesn't just raise your risk of stroke, it also fuels high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. So please be sure to watch till the end. Before we begin, I would also be so grateful if you could take a moment to share with me where you are watching from. I would love to see the full reach of these videos worldwide. Habit number 1, eating a late dinner. We've all done it, eating dinner far too late. Maybe it's the only time you can sit down. You scroll your phone or catch up on emails while you eat. Then, straight to bed. But heavy, late meals force your body to stay on duty when it should be resting. After you eat, blood is redirected to the gut. Your heart rate and blood pressure climb. The normal nighttime dip in blood pressure that protects your arteries disappears. Instead of relaxing, your vessels remain tense, like a hose left under pressure all night. When this happens repeatedly, the inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium, becomes irritated and stiff. Over months and years, that stiffness becomes the breeding ground for clots and plaques. So how to prevent this? Finish dinner at least 3 hours before bed. Choose lighter meals, vegetables, lean protein, less salt, fewer refined carbs. Think of it as letting your body clock out on time. When patients try this, their morning blood pressure often drops within a week, and their sleep feels deeper. Habit number 2. Lounging on the couch and evening inactivity. Picture the typical evening, dinner plate cleared, lights dimmed, television on, feet up. It feels harmless, even deserved. But hours of inactivity before bed can quietly thicken the blood and reduce circulation. When we sit still for long stretches, the leg veins act like slow-moving rivers. Flow decreases and tiny clots are more likely to form, especially in people over 50 or with varicose veins. Metabolism also slows, raising evening blood sugar and blood pressure. The body treats stillness as stagnation. By the time you finally stand up to go to bed, your cardiovascular system has effectively been idling for hours. So what should you do? Build in 10 minutes of gentle movement after dinner. A slow walk, washing dishes, light stretching, anything that gets blood flowing again. Even this small routine improves nighttime circulation and glucose control. Movement after meals acts like a mini dose of medicine, free, safe, and instantly effective. Habit number 3, alcohol late in the evening. A glass of wine or a nightcap seems harmless, maybe even relaxing. It helps you fall asleep quickly, but that's where the illusion ends. As alcohol is broken down, it stimulates the release of adrenaline and disrupts REM sleep. The heart beats faster, blood pressure swings wildly, and dehydration thickens the blood. These changes peak a few hours after drinking, exactly when you're deep in sleep. In susceptible people, alcohol can trigger atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat that lets blood stagnate and clot. Most people never feel it. They sleep through it. and then a clot travels silently to the brain. So, avoid alcohol within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. If you do drink earlier, limit it to one small unit and pair it with water. Alcohol in moderation may have social value, but physiologically, your brain sleeps best sober. Habit number 4, undetected nighttime atrial fibrillation. Now let's look more closely at that irregular heartbeat. Atrial fibrillation, or AF. It's one of the most common causes of stroke. In AF, the upper chambers of the heart quiver instead of beating properly. Blood pools, clots form, and when normal rhythm resumes, a clot can shoot straight to the brain. The reason it's so dangerous at night is that many episodes are silent. No palpitations, no dizziness, nothing to notice. They come and go while you sleep. Research shows that untreated AF increases stroke risk 5-fold, but with modern tools, it can be detected early. Some smartwatches, fitness bands, and home ECG patches already flag irregular rhythms during rest. For high-risk patients, a 24-hour ECG can confirm the diagnosis. My one tip would be to learn to feel your pulse on your wrist. If it feels irregular or your device alerts you, don't ignore it. Your doctor can check for AF easily, and anticoagulant medication can reduce stroke risk by more than 70%. Mark, as it turned out, had undiagnosed paroxysmal AF. Brief, irregular bursts at night that no one ever noticed. Habit number 5. Staying up too late or having irregular sleep pattern. We live in a world that celebrates late nights. Streaming another episode, answering one more message, it feels small, but your body runs on a precise circadian rhythm that expects consistency. When you stay up late or change your bedtime every few nights, that internal clock drifts. Hormones like cortisol and adrenaline rise when they should be falling. Instead of relaxing, your heart and blood vessels remain in daytime mode. Even mild sleep deprivation, less than 6 hours a night, raises the risk of stroke, hypertension, and insulin resistance. Short sleepers also show higher morning platelet activity, making blood slightly stickier. To fix this, set a target bedtime and keep it. Dim screens an hour before sleep. Your brain interprets blue light as daylight. Consistency trains your cardiovascular system to expect rest, allowing nightly repair of vessel walls. You don't need perfection, just rhythm. Think of each night as a chance for maintenance. When you shortchange it, damage quietly accumulates. Habit number 6. Caffeine. After midday. Caffeine is the world's most accepted stimulant and one of the most underestimated. Its half-life is around 5 to 7 hours. That means a cup at 3 p.m. still keeps half its strength in your bloodstream at 10 p.m. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the molecule that signals the brain it's time to rest. Even if you fall asleep, it delays deep, slow-wave sleep and increases nighttime blood pressure. The result is a lighter, more fragmented rest that leaves vessels slightly constricted by morning. Over years, this subtle nightly tension adds up. I would recommend to make midday your caffeine cutoff. Replace afternoon coffee with herbal tea, water, or simply a short walk for energy. And remember, caffeine hides in chocolate, cola, and some painkillers. Reducing it after noon can transform sleep quality within days. Habit number 7. Sleep apnea and snoring. Now, to the most powerful and most ignored habit of all, sleep apnea. It's the silent thief of oxygen and one of the strongest predictors of stroke. During sleep apnea, the airway collapses repeatedly. Each pause in breathing drops oxygen levels and jolts the body awake for a split second. Heart rate surges, blood pressure spikes, stress hormones flood the system over and over, sometimes hundreds of times a night. Most people don't wake fully enough to remember. They simply feel exhausted in the morning, blame it on stress, and carry on. But those nightly oxygen swings inflame blood vessels, damage the brain's white matter, and double or even triple stroke risk. Sleep apnea also drives high blood pressure and insulin resistance, turning one condition into many. Common warning signs include loud snoring, choking sounds at night, morning headaches, dry mouth, or unexplained daytime fatigue. So, if someone tells you that you snore or stop breathing, take it seriously. Ask your doctor about a sleep study. Treatment is straightforward with a small mask that keeps airways open, normalizes oxygen levels, and dramatically lowers cardiovascular risk. Patients often describe the first week on this mask as life-changing: clearer mornings, lower blood pressure, sharper focus. When you look at these 7 habits together, a pattern appears. Every one of them affects what your blood vessels, heart, and brain are doing while you sleep. The night isn't downtime for your body, it's a carefully orchestrated repair shift. Blood pressure lowers, vessels relax, neurons clean away waste. When you interfere with that process through food, alcohol, stimulants, or disrupted breathing, you interrupt the maintenance cycle that keeps the brain healthy. Think of your circulatory system as a road network. Daytime traffic causes small cracks and potholes. Nighttime rest is the repair crew. If the crew never gets time to work, eventually the road collapses. Back to Mark. His scan showed a clot blocking the left middle cerebral artery, the pathway controlling speech and movement on the right side. The source was almost certainly a small clot from the heart during one of those silent AF episodes. He also snored heavily, something he'd laughed about for years. The combination, untreated apnea, irregular heartbeat, late dinners, and evening drinks, was a perfect storm. After months of physiotherapy, Mark regained partial movement. Today, he walks independently, speaks clearly, and has become passionate about prevention. Your brain is most vulnerable when you think you're safe, asleep, but the same hours that create risk can also offer protection. By adjusting the last few hours of your day, you can give your brain the calm, oxygen-rich environment it needs to heal and renew. Let's recap quickly. Eat earlier. Give your body time to digest before bed. Move a little after dinner. Keep circulation flowing. Skip the late-night drink. Let your heart rest naturally. Know your rhythm. Detect irregular heartbeats early. Keep a steady bedtime. Restore your circadian rhythm. Cut caffeine after noon. Allow deep restorative sleep. Treat snoring and apnea. Protect oxygen flow and heart health. These aren't drastic changes. They're simple habits, repeated nightly, that decide how your brain wakes up tomorrow. So tonight, before you drift off, remember Mark's story. He can't change that night, but you can change yours. And for more life-saving awareness information, please subscribe and watch this video on the screen now.